So the playoffs are finally here. And I tell you what, we have got some good games. We've got some, if you're D1, if you're D2 South, it's a lot of interdivisional, so it's terrible. And I mean, Div 2 is looking hot. We're going to get into it. So it's me and Jamie on tonight, and we are joined by our guest, Joe White from the Bournemouth University Bobcats and formerly of the Gloucestershire Gladiators. Joe, how are you doing?
I'm not too bad. How are you guys?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. It'd be nice if my mic worked. But, we
lost
Jamie's got a nice new haircut.
Yep. I've gone extra short. I've been asking him for extra short for the last 4 times, and he just refused to do it, but he's finally listened to me. So
again, I think SJ having the better lid of this show is now in the bin, which is nice. Yeah. But let's get into it, Joe, because I know you've got to get to training. I think the first question for me is, why is this Bobcats team going to be the one to make the Prem?
I think generally, we've been really good this season. Not as good as we could probably have hoped for. Like, we've conceded more than we did last year. Mm-hmm. But I think that this year we've performed under like immense pressure, starting off, with the sort of adversity that we started off with, and then coming back, making the playoffs, which I don't think many people thought we were going to do. And going 8-0 in our division, probably quite a shock to some people.
Right, I will say, I'm going to interrupt you. I think most people thought you'd make the playoffs, if I'm completely honest.
Well, to be fair, like, if that's what most people think, like, we were not under that impression at all. So for us, making the playoffs was like a massive sort of achievement for us after what happened to us at the start of the season. So like making the playoffs and doing as well as we did, I think with that going forward, I think it just make a fucking amazing story to go all the way and win it.
So obviously I was at that Bath game where, the Bobcats season is basically been, you lose a game, you're not in the position you are in currently. As a player, what was that last 2 minutes like versus Bath when you were at home? No, sorry, when Bath were at home.
I think more of my hair fell out in those last 2 minutes than as my whole life. Like, I was so stressed. I don't think we've had a position like that in my time here. I think the closest I probably had to that is when I was playing at Gloucester. Like, being in those last 2 minutes, the stress of like you could potentially lose here, but we just pulled together as a team, and like I think you could see on the sideline how stressed I was. I was absolutely like fucking having a meltdown. But yeah, we pulled it together and we did the unthinkable. It was like a miracle. It was like what's that ice hockey film where it's like a
Miracle on Ice? Yeah. I mean, electric. I had to clip that one, and it's got some good views. But I mean, that's why people should go to Uniball games, because you could end up with classics. Because I think even you'll agree, like the first 3 quarters of that game, not as a spectator, not amazing, but it was worth it all for that.
Well, I don't know. I think the game was like quite entertaining considering where we were at the first 2 quarters, and then what happened towards the end. I was like, it's amazing what Uniball can do when it's just like you never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to get pulled out of the bag, and like it was just pure magic.
I think Joe's thoughts of the game are probably where it was, because it was very cold and I was unfortunately quite hungover that day, and I was just not enjoying just standing around in.
I could tell you were hungover because I come up to you like at the beginning of the game. I was like, "You're right, mate," and you're like, "Oh."
Yeah, that's it. It's simple as. So obviously the Bobcats, have had success over the last 3-4 years, and what was it like being in the semi-final or the South final, as it's more widely known, last year against Brunel? What was that feeling like, that game, to be able to get there and then ultimately falling?
I think the road last year, especially the quarterfinal or semi-final of the South, the Kent game. Like they're a very tough opposition, and they gave us a right sort of. It was physical, it was tough, and then the week after we have to go and play Brunel, who are, you know, you can see what they're doing in the Prem. Like Brunel are this team that's like fair play to them, and they deserved what they got in the end. They worked hard, and they were by the large part the better team in that final. As much as it was close, but like it was absolutely gutting towards the end because we worked so hard, and the team we had last year, you know, a lot of them lads were there from the start of when they were in Div 1 and the final loss against Portsmouth. So it was gutting for me as someone who come in last year, and to see them lads have their final year playing Uniball and losing in that way. So it was more gutting for them than it was for me, because I've obviously got another, you know, a few more seasons here at the Bobcats. So I was just more upset for them. But yeah, it was gutting for myself, definitely. And, you know, there's no particular blame on anyone or anything. Like Brunel were just the better team that day. So
this one's like specifically for you. What's been the biggest surprise jumping up from, you know, a D2 level to, you know, a high D1 level?
To be fair, when I first signed, like come to Bobcats, when I first came down here, like the jump was probably the training standard, and like turning up to a training when there's more than like 7 people.
Love you, Gloucestershire.
Yeah, like Tebs, do you remember like we were training and we ended up doing rock, paper, scissors for the entire training session?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the sort of level that, you know, sometimes you were getting in Div 2 training, and coming up to Div 1 and having a coach, like an amazing coach like Steve Rains, and the implementing of like the training system that we have down here in Bournemouth and Chapelgate, and great facilities, and, you know, what we have down here in Bournemouth is just miles better than something that a Div 2 team can produce. I'm not trying to knock Gloucester, like Gloucester holds a special place in my heart, but yeah, the jump to coming up to a team that is trying to push for that Prem level and trying to better themselves and trying to be competitive with the top teams up there. Yeah, it's a bit of a big jump.
I will say we're not
reflect into like the social side of things though. Is it like a different team spirit? Because obviously the team have taken it a lot more seriously. So does that translate?
Do you know what? It's a bit of I can't really chuck too much of Gloucester under the bus, because, like I said, I've got a special place in my heart for them. But like the social side of Gloucester, like I remember, yeah, I've got a lovely video of Tebs, but but like, yeah, the social side can be a little bit more like when we're coming up to big games and stuff like that. Like we're trying to be more serious. We're not going out and stuff like that. Whereas like Div 2, you know, we had a bit more fun with it. And, you know, before games, like we used to, what was it back in Div 2? We used to like turn up with like who had the swaggiest outfit before the game.
It was always me, by the way, Jamie.
It was always Tebs with his silly like pimp outfit that he would wear.
Yeah, I won no awards for my playing, but I won best dressed. That's why I'm on this show.
But the social life down here in Bournemouth is equally like is fun and like going out and stuff. But yeah, Div 2 definitely take it a little bit more lax.
I will say with that Gloucestershire, it's not pushing the Div 1 level, it's pushing the Prem level, and that's the jump, not just the jump up to Div 1. So also another one specifically for you, Ireland's national team. What's that experience been like for you?
It was absolutely, to be honest, it's been fantastic. I got in touch with their head coach. So Steve Rains went over to Ireland during the summer, and he met one of the head coach over there, and said to them, "Oh, we have a lad here who's got an Irish passport. You know, shout out to my dad, big up." And he was like, "Oh, get him in touch." So I sent him over some film, and then the defensive coordinator then gave me a call and was like, "I would love you to come over." So I went over throughout summer. Every 2 weeks I was going over there to do I did a trial and then training with them. And it's just amazing. Like the level over there is quite good. Yeah, it's probably quite similar to the British game over here. Less teams because smaller country, obviously, but yeah, it's been absolutely fantastic, and I've learned quite a lot from being over there. And I've played against lads who are you know, going into Europe and you know, having that experience. So it's not like people have knocked it and said, oh, it's not as good as GB, but you know, Ireland's my nation, you know, that I'm proud to have heritage from, and I'm proud to have made an IFAF team.
So what does the future look like for you in football, if ideally? Because, you know, having actually having experience playing against you, I do know of the of how good you are. Where do you see it? Well, I mean, I know it's back then, but also you have to remember that I'm also terrible at football. So of course you're
I wouldn't say that. I thought you were a very good centre.
Right, that's been caught. Right, that's recorded. Let's make sure that goes in.
That's the only glazing you're getting.
I'm only gonna clip that show. Oh, my computer's gone off. So I think you'll be able to keep hearing me, but I don't know why that's gone off.
We can see you for a second, but then it's
That's so strange. Right, okay.
We can hear you.
I go
We can hear
into
you.
here, I should be able to. No, I can't. Wonder why that's just locked.
The technical difficulties of Depth Chart Sports is.
This is brilliant. He told me he was a professional.
The charging cable is in. I may have pulled it out.
Yeah, he's a professional commentator, and
That's all what happened.
Well, whilst he's sorting that out, there's some incredible Bafra news flashes this week, which I know.
No, it's fine. It's it's Jamie. I can see that they're talking, and it's not just dead air.
Oh, no, we can still hear you. Yeah.
I'm sure he's talking about how terrible I am at football. You can still hear me, can't you? Yeah, thought as much.
Anyway, Bafra news flashes. There's some incredible ones. There's some absolute goals.
Keep talking.
4 in 1 week, and it's like what? So first,
right, let's see if
Bullets causes some absolute chaos with the referees in that they kept on intruding the changing rooms and go to use the toilet even though the door was locked. Like, kept on going in. Refs are trying to get changed. UE players keep on going in and trying to go to the toilet. What more could you ask? Then Liverpool Raptors with a double whammy. Firstly, their chains kept on breaking. Okay. No, it wasn't Liverpool that the chains were breaking. Liverpool, they had Deflategate was back. So Deflategate from the beginning of the season is back with Liverpool Raptors, where they constantly kept on having game balls that were low pressure. But the big one was that the changing rooms for the referee was not very big. So they had to cram all of the referees into a room for 2 people. And the toilets or the sink was flooding and leaking, so all of the referees' equipment done, kaput, not good enough. And then we've got 2 episodes of chains not being the correct size or breaking or just carnage. So firstly, Greenwich Mariners sort it out. They broke twice and then they were made too long after. Come on. And then finally, Birmingham Lions.
I'll let you finish, but I want to ask Joe one more question.
One more. We're saving the show here. Birmingham Lions chain set broke, but the big news, and I think this is important for Britball to know, that they are now charging for parking, but you can pay via app. So don't stress.
To be fair, I didn't know that.
There you go. It's big news.
Free parking at Birmingham. So Joe, basically, sorry about that, everyone.
That's all good.
But yeah, I mean, what are you looking forward to about the playoffs?
I'm looking forward to like a good challenge, like Bristol. When we last went down to, I don't want to butcher their ground. Is it Coombe Dingle?
Of course, it's the lovely, beautiful Coombe Dingle.
Last time we went to Coombe Dingle, like they did give us a hard time. It was the first game of the season, and like they're a good team. They've got good players there, and they got a good system. So it'll be a nice, tough game. But hopefully we can go all the way and get to that national final is the sort of end goal for the Bobcats.
I mean, you don't want to end up like a Brunel getting a bottle job legacy that's going on there. But I mean Bournemouth. I think Bournemouth Hearts is the semi-final. Obviously, it will be at Hearts. Well, that's what I think anyway. I'm not one to. I don't talk about sort of the future and stuff like that or anything like that. I always take sort of what's happening at a time. Like that's probably more of a personal thing for me. I never speak about
who's going to be in the final, who's going to be doing this, who's going to be that. But I can only hope and I can only have faith in what we're doing. But yeah, take every game as it comes. And obviously it's a big game for both us and for Bristol on Sunday. It's an inter-divisional game as well. So yeah, I know you really wanted to come back and cover it again, Tabs. I can see it.
That comment is straight from the Steve Rains playbook of journalism. Like, stay on the fence.
That's what it is. I mean, we've had Rains on a few times. Well, we actually haven't because it's the first year of the Uniball show, so we've not actually.
I will comment on one team. I would say that Gloucester. I think they're going to be in the Div 2 South final.
Yeah, I mean they got to get through QMBL first, and I was going to say I would
easy job.
I mean, normally I would, but obviously we've got to be at Brunel, or otherwise I'd go. But also to if you get through, and if it's at KCL and KCL beat Brighton, I was tempted to go, but I know where I need to go, and that is to QMBL with the Gladiators. So that's where I'm going to be next Sunday. But Joe, thank you for coming on, and good luck for the game on Sunday and for the rest of the playoffs. If you get that far, of course, because you got to stay on the fence.
Of course. All right, cheers, boys. Have a good one.
This is it. There's finally proof that I've, number one, played football, and I was okay.
Not awful.
Not awful. Not awful. Chris Tebber. That's the name. That's what it is. So we're going to get into the first round of the playoffs. So it's just going to be the Prem and Division 1. Someone asked him, it is his real house. It is his real house.
Can you not see the flickering around my head?
Wait, it's the flickering of the pool. The light is glistening. The light is glistening out there. So we're going to move in to the playoffs. So starting in the Prem, it's the one we're going to be at on great in that playoff game. I didn't play in that playoff game, pal. I don't know what you're talking about. So it's Brunel versus Newcastle. Newcastle, obviously the lowest seed in the north, coming down a long, long way to come and play Brunel. I
just can't see it going any way than what we're all expecting.
No.
I think we've had big talk from SJ that the divisions are not comparable and that the north and south, that there's a big divide in abilities anyway. And then to be at the bottom of the north, like obviously in the playoffs, obviously, like the lowest ranked team.
Yeah.
You go, ooh, have they got what it takes? But then you look at it and you go, well, Exeter finishing 0-8 gave Brunel a game at a point, and you go, maybe playoff football.
I mean, this is it. I mean, there's certainly room for surprises, but I don't know about this one. I think it's the fact that SJ's picked all south, no one from the north to go through, even with NTU and Portsmouth, and Portsmouth that has struggled. He likes Portsmouth more. I mean, when it comes to Warwick versus Cardiff, last year I picked Cardiff to go through, and Warwick beat them. I think it was 22-3. Don't get me wrong, that game was played in horrible conditions, but it's raining for both teams.
I think Cardiff are a better team this year, aren't they?
I think Cardiff are a better team this year.
Cardiff's performance against SGS, yes, they didn't go and score loads and loads of points.
Shut up, fools.
It looked legit. Like they looked like they... Yeah.
So, I mean, Warwick versus Cardiff, I think it's going to be a different game this year. I really do. I mean, Warwick haven't looked as strong as they did last year. Don't get me wrong, it was a great run up to the finals last year, but I don't think they're going to be able to replicate it. I don't think they get past Cardiff. Like when we're talking about Brunel, I think that Cardiff game, if they both get through, of course, because we've got to try and be sort of on the fence here, I suppose. But I think if it is that game next, I think that's going to be a very tough game for Brunel. I really, really do. I don't know if I'd go so far as to actually pick Cardiff against Brunel, but I wouldn't be surprised. But then obviously it becomes an issue of, Brunel seem very, very keen, and, the most, the team with the most ability to go up to the national Prem. Absolutely. Out of everyone apart from SGS, but likely if SGS get there, they probably wouldn't go up again, right? Whereas Brunel seem like the next national Premiership team.
Brunel want it as well, don't they? You can tell they
exactly,
want it.
yeah.
Players that they've got in the team look like they could cope. They don't look like. Whereas you look at probably every other team in the playoffs and go, they just look like they'd be the whipping boys going up, and that's
100%.
That's whereas Brunel looked like they could give a really good game to Loughborough, like, and maybe even beyond.
This is obviously they need to get in more people. I've said to Coach James and SJ, they need to improve. They need to not be at Site 5. Like, I think that's going to be a big one, is to not be there, because that's not a Premiership or national Premiership facility. It just simply isn't. Tom B saying in Instagram comments, hot take, Div 2 North will be the most exciting playoffs bracket. I mean, I think that's probably true. I mean, I'm absolutely in love with the fact that we've got LJMU and Lancaster. We actually haven't talked about it yet. We'll talk about it at the end. The coin flip. Yeah, we'll talk about it at the end. So we're going to get through the Premiership. So obviously on the other side of the bracket, you've got NTU versus Portsmouth, the only one that has got a split decision between all of us. I don't know. I still think NTU are a good team. I think they can get the job done. Don't get me wrong. I think that when it comes to the second round, because I don't think that Northumbria will be able to defeat SGS. I don't think they're going to get past SGS, but I think they'll get past Portsmouth.
Yeah, I agree entirely. I think we've got the same brackets the entire way.
Well, yeah, I think our Div 1 is different because I've got Oxford Brooks beating Kent and you've got Hallam beating Manchester. Yeah. So that's the way we think. I mean, SJ's not here, but he's obviously very much hates the North. Remember that, everyone. Newcastle, he hates the North.
Yeah, absolutely. It killed him to have to go to North. To have to go to
Loughborough.
Loughborough. Yeah, it killed him. It killed him when he had to go to the awards in Hull, and that wasn't even barely North.
You know, he's told me personally, you get past Stevenage for him, that's the North. That's the North for SJ. That's how much he loves it.
If you can't get a London Underground there, he doesn't want it.
Exactly. So the last one, Northumbria versus SGS, as we've said, again, I'm pleasantly surprised with Northumbria this year. I really thought that they'd be in that relegation position. I didn't think Leeds would do as poorly as they've done. But they're up, they're staying up, and I don't think Northumbria's got any sort of threat of coming down. I think they're a team that's going to keep on being able to build.
They seem to have that team attitude that they'll just continuously drag themselves through, even if they've not potentially got the players. They've got that, similar to what Cardiff have had for years, where it's kind of like, we're just here for the vibes, but they've got the ability to back it as well. And they'll continuously work on that. They've been the same since they went down to since they got relegated. They've always been just hardworking lads that will always work together, and they'll never give up. And they're just a bunch of boys, and that's basically it. And they're mates. You can tell they all live with each other. And
this is it. You could tell that even when they had Aaron O'Coin.
Yeah,
like it wasn't like, you know, the American QB and then the rest. No, it's just all Northumbria Mustangs.
Yeah.
So I think next year, I think they could be a contender to win the Div, and then I mean, the Prem next year is going to be so strange for who's going to go up in the national Premiership in that promotion relegation game, because you know you'd probably say it's either going to be this is like this time next year level predictions, like it's either going to be Loughborough or it's going to be Brunel. You can't really see anyone else. So moving on over to Division 1, we're starting off with interdivision. Makes me sick. MMU versus Lancashire. Even with Charlie Martin going down, Lancashire.
Yeah, because Lancashire's backups aren't bad in any
No,
means.
because it's George Hatfield who played QB for the Coventry Phoenix, and we got to see him on some of the Depth Chart Sports live streams. Impressive. You know, I don't think it's, you know, a horrific step back for the Rams. So, you know, good on MMU for getting it. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's going to be one and done. I mean, Cam did have an interesting take in our group chat earlier. The Rams are sort of getting that Brunel gene of bottling this, but don't think it's going to be in the first round of the playoffs.
No.
I think that the Rams are going to struggle when they get to the North finals, so the semi-finals, where I think they're likely going to face Napier. I think with Charlie Martin going down, don't get me wrong, I don't think it's going to cause any problems against MMU, Manchester, or Hallam. But I think when Napier comes to them, which also could be an important point, it's going to be going the way of Napier. Obviously, Napier have got to get past Nottingham Green first, because this is. We should have spoke about this earlier. Napier have got the walkover victory. They're already through. They're the first team through. Glasgow were unable to field a team, so Napier. They're in the quarterfinals.
Coach Bloomfield's commented about Cam's take, and he's just been put. Cam had that take. Shock.
Yeah. Sounds like Cam.
It's the same way that obviously we'll speak about it briefly about his Sterling take, where he can continue to argue it, but he's not going to convince me.
What's his Sterling take?
They think Sterling are going to win.
We could have. Nah. Well, against the Green. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, he was like blabbing on about that. Yeah. Do you know why I didn't put it on? Because that take's dumb, and I didn't want the people to hate him and think that he's dumb for picking that. So obviously moving on to that one, Green versus Sterling. I like the Green. Obviously, like there could be an issue here with obviously how the Gold have struggled, but I think it wouldn't surprise me if the Gold are aware that it's probably not going to be their year. It's going to be Durham or Uwe. So that narrative of they're pulling people up from the Green, they're pulling all the best Green players up. It's like, not really. I mean, the Green have got I'd argue that the Green have got a better chance of winning Div 1 North and getting promoted than the Gold do of winning the national Premiership, the national championship.
The Green look more legit this year as a separate entity.
Yeah,
they haven't looked rocky in any way. They don't look like there's any doubt in them. And if they can keep that going,
I mean, you look at the end of last year where they lost to Hallam and then lost to Hallam again back to back in the postseason. None of that this year. None of that. So you're absolutely right. Moving on to the South, again, lots of interdivisions, sickening. Hearts versus Brum. Obviously, they split the series. After that, Neil went awry in, I think, probably week 2 or 3 for the Hurricanes. Don't get me wrong. I think Birmingham's looking better. I mean, I think that they had a sort of tough go of it before Christmas. I still think, as I said in the interview with Joe, the final is going to be the South final is going to be Hertfordshire versus Bournemouth.
Yeah,
all the way through. So yeah, we've both got Hearts. Now this is the one where I'm split on. I like Oxford Brooks. Don't get me wrong. Like, this is a very 50-50 game for me for OBU versus Kent. But I'm picking OBU. I think OBU have got a point to prove, especially when they're likely to face Birmingham, who they've beaten twice, or Hearts, who they've lost to twice. But
OBU,
Kent, on the other hand,
just seem like they've slowed down a bit as the years gone, as the season's gone on.
Who, OBU?
OBU.
I'd agree with that.
And that's kind of like, rather than picking up as the season's gone, the Durham performance kind of thing of previous years, they've gone the opposite way, and I don't think that's a great.
I'd completely agree with that. I think teams have sort of figured them out a bit as well. I think that's what's key. I mean, if you look at most of the footage of their games, you can sort of work it out for the most part, and there's no hate there. But I've been to a couple of OBU games, and they're quite similar. Even against Hearts, and they were looking good against Hearts, but then they just didn't make that second half adjustment, and they ended up losing the game. KCL versus Brighton. Brighton, coming in. I think Brighton, could have something here. Obviously, KCL losing their head coach, and Nana's now gone to Bournemouth. Which could be an interesting one, considering if they both go through. But I like KCL here, but I don't know. Part of me, if I could bet on it, I'd put a $5 on Brighton. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
what a performance from Brighton this season, considering where we were all at the beginning of the season. It's like
exactly.
what's going on there? Like, how have they done? How have they managed that? We were all saying massive regime change, bang, bang, bang. It could end quite badly.
Yeah.
And it's gone the complete opposite way.
Well, especially when you consider, like, you know, head coaching changes in Uniball are strange because I've seen examples of them going poorly. You know, we can look at realistically, not to, you know, put them under the bus, but just as an example, Leeds, not gone very well for them. One of the top teams in the Prem North, now relegated to Division 1. Then you look at Brighton, sort of coming out of nowhere. Wouldn't surprise me if they are able to, you know, get an upset here. Don't think in the next round, because as we'll move on to, don't get me wrong, this is going to sound like me and Jamie do not like the Bristol Barracuda. They are going to lose this football game.
Jed, are you in the comments? Is all I'm going to say. Like,
probably not, because I think even Bristol, like, again, I love Bristol, and I push, if they pull off an underdog win here, it's going to be so sweet for the Barracuda, so sweet for the Barracuda. But I just can't see it. You know, like, Bournemouth need to get it done this year. That's how I feel. They need to get it done this year, because like last year, you could argue that it was their year. Felt more like Brunel's year. Exeter the year before that, and then getting to the South finals against Portsmouth the year prior, trying to go up and up. But I think Bournemouth need to do it this year. I don't know what Bournemouth 27, 20... Sorry, go on.
I can't see past it. Like, there could be a big upset, but just what they've got, like what they've had and what they've gone through this season, and how they've just been relentless from the start to finish. And yes, as Joe said, they don't seem to be as unbeatable as last year. Last year, they looked like a completely different team, but I think they are just a class above everyone else. Last year, it was them and Brunel and no one else. Brunel are no longer there. And it's like,
I mean, that's it. I mean, I can't picture in my head what a 27-28 D1 Bournemouth Bobcats looks like, because they've been trying so hard to get there, and they have been worthy of it. You know, like, if you could argue if this Bournemouth Bobcats team was up in the Premiership, they'd probably be doing pretty well.
Yeah,
they probably would be doing pretty well.
Replicating what Brunel have done here, like, maybe not to the same extent, but they would not have been contenders to go back down.
No,
in any means.
And especially with like what their uni could offer if they are a Premiership side. You know, like, you look at what their uni's offering them as a Div 1 side. You know, there's going to be a growth in what they are able to bring in. So I mean, I do want to preview the Div 2 brackets because they're so good. There's not an ounce of fat on these Div 2 brackets.
The Div 2 North is just so much carnage because barely any of the teams have played.
No,
so no one knows what's going to happen.
I tell you what, we have got the old Jamie Sill Bowl going on in the first round. The Coventry University Jets and the Hull Sharks at Coventry. You know, they met last year. They were both in the Midlands, and Yorkshire won last year. And some balls were exchanged, in which we're still waiting for some pictures. Coventry University Jets.
We were getting some pictures after the last game.
Yeah, that's true. Give them to Hull. Hull will take some pictures.
Give them to Hull.
Give them to Hull. So this is what it looks like. So you got Cambridge versus Sunderland, Coventry versus Hull, York versus DMU, and I mean this one. Oh, this game. If I could go to this game, it's so far away, but I'd be tempted. It's the LGMU 3 versus the Lancaster Bombers. So obviously we found out after LGMU's game on, I think it was Tuesday, that it would be going to a coin toss. We've not seen in my time of covering British University American football, I've not seen a coin toss. I've heard of coin tosses. And I think my favorite thing was CFB Network, quite a large Instagram page covering college football, did a post all about LGMU getting promoted on the coin toss, and what sweet synergy it is that they meet in the first round.
It blows my mind that they didn't stream it or anything. Like, There's no evidence.
I would have watched it. They could have done a full day of coverage
Honestly,
leading up to the
If
coin
they'd have got
toss.
in contact with us, you'd have gone.
Oh, I would have loved it. I would have.
Then
I would
you
have
look at it and you
thrived.
go, surely.
Do you know what I would have-
Looking at the brackets, they could have just made this game for the division.
This is it, right? But we've got it, and realistically, Lancaster are fighting to prove that they should have been promoted, and LJMU are fighting to prove that they deserve to be promoted, because this is the game that should have happened weeks ago. Weather delays that was probably going to end up with the divisional winner.
It's going to be the funniest thing ever if Lancaster absolutely steamwalk them. Like,
I can't see it. I'm backing
I
them.
can't see it.
But
I can't
for
see
me,
it, but it would be the funniest thing ever that LJMU were like, yeah, but we won the division off a coin toss.
well, the problem is that I look at this Northern Conference Cup, and there's a name that jumps out to me, and I think I'm finally ready to fully commit to being on the DMU rocket ship. I think they're winning the whole thing, and I'm not even joking. I think the DMU win the whole thing. I really do. I've said to Coach Connor, who used to be on another show with us when we did another show. We've never done another show. Never. So he's never been on a show with us. I don't know him personally at all. For anyone who doesn't know, he was on a show with us when we were somewhere else. I said to him when he drew DMU, I'm like, oh, first round exit. You're going home. He said, oh, they got to travel to us. First round exit, DMU. But I do like Cambridge versus Sunderland. Sunderland cooled off massively.
Mm.
They were white hot, cooled off massively. And
I hate to go back to it, and I can only apologise for going back to it. I would just love to know what coin they used. Was it a real coin? Do LJMU get to keep the coin? Did they just put a random coin spinner on Google? Like, I would just love to know what happened.
Time out. Talk about football. I just want to let you know that your hair is phasing through your background, so at times you're bald. Huh?
Like, my real house.
Genuinely, you're going bald at points. It's really quite funny.
But they still think it's my real house.
It is your real house.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, Sunderland called off. Coventry versus Hull. I think Coventry have got a point to prove now, because they had it here. Right here.
See, people are going to say that I'm just hating.
Here we go.
But I really think it's Hull's time.
Shut up. You're
Honestly,
joking.
I really think it's Hull's time. Granted, Hull's QB has thrown at least 45 picks this season. But if they can connect a couple of passes, it's theirs.
Well, this is it, right? Is they get through the first round. I mean, Hull to Cambridge. Not ideal. Not ideal.
And I don't think they can afford it, is the issue.
Oh, gosh.
I really don't. I think they're going to struggle to get to Coventry. Never mind another leg after it.
Well, this is the problem, right? We've already had one playoff walkover, and like, I hate it. Obviously. But yeah, I mean, please no more. But we get into it. LJMU versus Lancaster. I think LJMU's got it.
It's LJMU for me, but I just want Lancaster to win.
Yeah.
Not because I have any hate for LJMU. I really like them. But I just for the vibes, and just because we know that our favourite meme account will have a field day if Lancaster win.
Pardon me. And so into the South. Again, great games. We've got a rematch. And like interdivision, this one I don't mind. Reading versus Sussex. Both very good teams. Then we've got Imperial versus the UE Bullets 2s. I think another interesting game. Imperial very, very defensive. UE Bullets 2s. Once again, falling short of promotion to the Swansea Titans. But I mean, as Joe said, I didn't work it out in my head. I've got this crazy. If Glads didn't draw with Worcester, they'd have been promoted. Nuts.
The Worcester
Silly.
Royals causing issues.
But then I guess if you look at it, the Glads also cost Worcester promotion by beating Swansea. But at the end of the day, promotion is that's the thing. Playoffs are just a little bit extra for Div 2. Then QMBL versus the Gloucestershire Gladiators, which I will be going to next Sunday at QMBL. I might get on the coach.
Stream it.
Stream
Stream the
a
coach.
whole day of content. The meta glasses still need to decide on those, or otherwise, the whole experience, and the Glads will be cancelled if I do that. And a good game here if Swansea can get their mojo back.
Might get cancelled.
Huh?
I think our account might get cancelled.
Yeah, probably. And a good game if Swansea can get their mojo back. Swansea versus Surrey. All of those are great games. I still think, and I've held on to this, I think all season long, Reading are going to win the South. Cut and dry for me.
See,
Hull, no.
QMBL are not going to win it. They're a bunch of rats. Come on, the Reading.
I tell you what, when I went down there last Sunday, you were the talk of it. Like, why does that one guy just hate us? It's like, whatever. I don't even remember what QMBL did.
They said something in a comment once, and then they wouldn't drop it.
I mean, you're their driving force. Did you know that?
No, I think what it was you said that I'd predicted them to lose one week, and I hadn't, and you just wouldn't drop it. And I was like, the prediction post was wrong, and they wouldn't drop that I hadn't predicted them. And I was like, I literally said you were going to win.
Funny. I mean, Imperial versus Uwe, I think that one I can't really pick apart because Imperial's got a very good defense. Uwe's offense were good, but then I saw them against the Glads when the Glads weren't doing as hot.
Oh, you're gone again.
Where's my connection gone? That's so strange. Jamie, vamp.
We can let's. I'm going to take my fake background off so everyone can see my actual haircut. There we go. This is my real house. Well, my real apartment.
Not even that much different, to be honest.
No, I know. We've got a lovely plant. Well,
you got lots of plants.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I think Swansea's good. I mean, we'll talk about the rest of the playoff brackets because, I mean, it's only just the National Prem left, and I mean we can talk about it just to cover them all. But it's
Durham going all the way.
I mean, to be fair, you have been,
I've been saying it for 4 years.
You have been saying it for 4 years. That is true. I'll fully back you on that.
And this year is the year, and I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be close. Whoever gets
I think that's nonsense. I think it will be close. No, I don't mean to be Cam and be like, "Oh, he's going to be, he's going to be massively close." Not that Cam sounds like that.
Cam will say that.
No.
Say that Loughborough are going to beat them.
Do you know what it is? Is that I'm so beaten down by the Uwe Bullets machine of them just winning that I don't know life without it, Jamie. That's the problem. That I need the Bullets to win to keep on living. Probably.
The vibes in Durham at the moment is just incredible.
Yeah, I'd say that's fair.
Honestly, you can just see it where it's just Taylor Swift on the sidelines all the time, and you're like, "What's going on?"
I think that's fair.
Down the sideline.
Fair. So we're coming to the end of this show. Do stay tuned to our social medias at the weekend as we've got some fun stuff coming your way. So a giveaway, maybe multiple giveaways, maybe in regards to some news that came out today from BAFA. So just keep that in mind. I mean, actually tomorrow, so it won't just be one day of, lovely British American football content, because tomorrow I will be going to the RAF Mustangs versus the Navy over at Tisley Park in Oxford. And then on Sunday, of course, we will be at Brunel versus Newcastle. Will I stream it? Maybe. Yes. But not as well as I have been, because it's not going to be me and the crew who have got lots of very expensive equipment. It's going to be me and my phone, and I'll try my hardest to make it
Tebs
good.
And his meta glasses running up and down the
glasses. Yeah, that'd be terrible, wouldn't it? And he still need to buy them.
If anyone to go back to it, if anyone can get a hold of the coin from the coin flip, I will pay big money for it.
Oh
Like,
no,
big
I'll
money.
pay big money.
If it's a £1
We'll bid.
coin, I'll pay at least £5.
I'd love to know because the NFL coins. I'm not sure.
This is what I mean. Is it just a 50p? Like, I want to know the logistics of it. Please, can we get Tonya on the stream at some point just to ask him this question?
I mean, because I've got like one from the Jags Dolphins game a few years ago. That's a weighty coin.
Like,
I need to know the answers.
why did they not film it?
My mic's falling off.
Why did they not film it and share it with everyone? Because it's a monumental moment in Britball history.
And this is it. I mean, we were in contact with LJMU and we're like, have you got any news? And it's like, oh yeah, they've done it. What do you mean they've done it? What do you mean?
Like,
No, come on, man.
Did they at least get them on FaceTime when they did it? I don't know. Like,
That's it. I want to know that. I want to know if like a representative from like the Lancaster SU and the LJMU SU had to go
they met at a service station middle of the way through and they're in the car park.
Mate, it could have been. It literally could have been. That would have made that would make sense.
Pound coin went and got put in one of the slots and lost instantly. Like,
do you know what it is? It's like that scene from No Country for Old Men. It's like this is the luckiest £1 coin of your life. You make sure you keep it or spend it. It doesn't matter. It's just a coin. But yeah,
it's going to be devastating if it was just that they did it on Google and just typed in random coin flipper.
Oh no, you'd have to be a real one. I'd have to verify it with my own eyes.
You've got to feel the weight of it.
Yeah, make sure it's not a double-headed one.
It had LJ on one side and MU on the other.
Do you know what it is? Is that I'm fairly certain. If Tonya did do it, I'm fairly certain that Tonya actually played for the Lancaster Bombers as well. You know, that must have been heartbreaking.
An email and asking for the details.
I'm fairly certain that he did. I mean, that must have been heartbreaking for him. I mean, that's proven that there was no. I'm not saying that it was rigged.
Did he do it on purpose?
Was,
Did he do it on purpose so that no one could call rigged?
No, Jamie, don't be saying things like that. But yeah, I can imagine, as if I've got that right, and just your former team losing promotion on a coin flip. Oh, that must have been heartbreaking. If I've got that right,
get tied in the next round.
Yeah. Right, we're gonna bid you adieu. Sorry for all the technical issues. Thank you, Joe White, for coming on. Tomorrow, I will be bringing you some action from the Royal Navy versus the RAF Mustangs, and then on Sunday, it will be the Brunel Burners versus the Newcastle Raiders, and we will see you on Monday, where I will hopefully not have mic issues. Goodbye.
Au revoir.